and welcome to a new video of CreepyPod. This far we don't know if we're going to do 2 final episodes or 1. That remains to be seen how much commentary we give. I will not hold back on commentary if I have something to say, so I hope you do the same, and we'll see.
Yeah, no, but we've also been getting hooked by this one.
Oh, by the way, this is your host, Rasmus aka Rezbir, and Bale/ThatNinjaThere, taking you in for another ride of amusement and horror. And a little bit of very much comedy, because we are not taking anything serious by some reason. I'm kinda intrigued to see how this ends, actually.
Likewise. Shall we get into it?
So yeah, I think you ended the last one, or did I?
No, you ended the last one.
Okay, then you start us off.
Alrighty then. I'm shaking as I write this. I was released by the police less than 2 hours ago, and I'm compelled to record the events of the past day and night as quickly and accurately as possible. In some ways, I want to forget, but I know that I cannot. I know that I should not. For my own sanity, I must divulge what has happened. It is far too important. Should I ever allow myself to be swayed back by the mechanical, rational nature of the world once again? These words should serve to remind me that what is unseen is both mysterious and frightening. After Mary left, I knew I'd lost for her forever, but rather than be consumed by depression and inaction, I was invigorated by one purpose, by one thought, by one idea that I knew I had to carry out. I had to destroy that thing, or I could not allow the chance that it may, one day, hurt my loved ones, or desecrate the innocence of another child. I also know that I faced death, but feeling that I was already lost everything, that was a small price to pay. It's said that revenge is a dish best served cold, but having waited my entire adult life to be rid of this thing, its memory, and the shadows that it casts upon me, I met the proposition of killing this fiend, this corrupt and perverted force, with a smile on my face.
Damn, this narrator, his character development from the last few parts. Wow.
I mean, yeah, no, losing everything will have that effect on you.
But I think it's so funny that in the first episode he was just that scared child. You know, the usual child who doesn't understand, always screamed on his mother when something happened. In part 2, he got the courage to say, "Please leave me alone." So he muttered out some courage. Part 3, he manages to go back to this place, but he's still scared and runs as quickly as he gets that feeling. In part 4, he was scared, but the thought of Mary made him like he got all the power
Step
he
up
needed
and
exactly to
do
step up
something.
and do something about it. And now everything is fucking lost, and he's like, I don't fucking care anymore. This thing can claw its ways into my brain. I'm gonna kill it.
Exactly.
But something I really think about now before you speak is like, can you really kill something that seems to be already like from the other world?
I'm guessing he's gonna Molotov the old house if he burns it alive in there.
Ah. You think he will burn it to death?
I mean, unless like that's what pops into my head right off the bat, and he got caught by the cops doing something, had to make a statement.
Yeah, I don't think he's just gonna like, Mr. Monster, oh, there you are.
No, I think he's just gonna waltz up to the house and chunk a Molotov through the window.
I think he's gonna drown it. I don't know. That's just I don't know if that's like me remembering something or if I just got that feeling now, because like I feel like he's gonna drown it.
Well, I believe it's your set of lines, so we'll find out.
All right. That night, it would be dead, even if I had to drag it to hell with me. Busying myself for the next few hours, I packed a bag and wrote a letter to Mary and my family explaining what had happened, and that they weren't to blame. I phoned my mother and father, then my brother, just to hear their voices one last time. But I did not let on that. I thought I may never speak to them again. My mother's intuition led to her to ask if everything was alright. I smiled and told her I loved her before reluctantly saying goodbye. At about 7 o'clock I made my way out of the car. The sun had already set, and the street seemed eerily quiet, as if the scene of an unattended funeral. I sat in the driver's seat, leaving the door on the other side open, awaiting my most unwelcome passenger. Is he driving away with it?
Maybe.
The sun
I
had
think he might be
already set,
trying.
as if the scene of I sat in the driver's seat, leaving the door next to me open, awaiting my unwelcome passenger. What
He
the
might
fuck
be
is he
trying to
doing?
take it over a cliff with himself.
Oh, maybe he is drowning it.
By 9 o'clock, nothing was out of the ordinary. Nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. The place remained deserted, and the cold night air flowing through the open door was beginning to bite. As I sat there, contemplation echoed through my mind. I ruminated on the nature of the cadaverous parasite. One question rose out of the sea of thoughts tearing above all else, unmoving and continuous. Can you kill something which is already
Oh,
dead?
I asked that question.
Yes, you
Yeah.
did. I did not know if this was a thing of the grave, or some unworldly specter which could be considered alive in some way. But just as I was reevaluating my plan, there it was. It was subtle at first, but there was a small, almost indistinguishable shift in the suspension of the car. Had it been any other circumstances, I would have put this down to a gust of wind pushing and pulling on the chassis. But I was all too familiar with the feeling of from all those years as the bunk bed would shift slightly with that thing climbing into the bottom bed. I knew its foul calling card. The air grew denser as if contaminated by a nearby corpse.
What the? Okay. You know, I said that the only thing I wished would have been a little shorter or stuff like that was like that he starts off with just explaining feelings and doing that for a while before something happens. This beginning is fucking quick.
Yeah.
I don't understand how is he gonna fill out a whole story with this? Like it's pretty much. So like, okay.
Only one way to find out.
It was in the car with me, unseen, yes, but there nonetheless. As I heard that rhymes. Unseen, yes, but but there nonetheless. As I heard the slightest of whispered breaths from the back seat, I leant over and calmly closed the passenger door. I turned the key in the ignition, and as I pulled out of the street, I could have sworn I heard a quiet yet distinctively malicious snigger, as if something was malicious snigger, as of something mocking me. Did it know what I had planned for it? Our destination was not far, but the roaming hills through which our taken country road penetrated rose up and diminished with regularity, a stark reminder of the ominous isolation of night. Occasionally on the way I could hear something from behind, but I refused to look for that thing in the dark. Patience. It would not be long before I would confront it.
Here we go. The irony hit me. I was worried about scaring off the same thing which had terrified and tortured me as a child. I had to be resilient, and so I drove carefully and calmly through the countryside, swamped by darkness, hoping that my unearthly passenger would not suspect me. I arrived. The wheels of the car struggled and slid at the undergrowth as I headed off the narrow country road. The landscape had opened up, and as I looked at the broken and rotting trees around me, I felt that it was fitting to come to this bleak place in the cold night, to destroy the bleakest of things. The land suddenly came to an abrupt
Oh,
end.
that's three.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh, all right then. It's your move. And I believe you were right.
What? About it being 3 lines and 3 paragraphs.
Oh, am I still going?
No, what did you mean? You think I was right about what?
I think it's your lines, and you'll find out. I think you were right.
Right about what?
You'll find out.
Huh?
Read your lines.
You said I think you were right.
I was about to overread, and read your lines. Damn it! You were right.
Oh, I thought you said like something I like tried to. I lost words. The land suddenly came to an abrupt end. A cliff edged out from an old quarry, looking deep into the black waters of the lake below. Oh, what the fuck did I'm just fucking. I am the mastermind of these stories. The cliff edge was relatively flat, and had in fact at one time housed a road, which had subsided into the lake decades later. Earlier, the local kids would tell stories about the vengeful ghosts of those killed during the subsidence, but they were just stories, or perhaps they weren't. In the past, I would have disregarded such tales, but who would believe mine if I told them now? I switched the engine off and parked several meters away from the cliff edge, switching off my lights and composing myself for what to come. I sat in the car for what seemed like a lifetime, the only company given to me by the occasional splash of water against the cliff below. I waited. I am kinda ready.
Yeah? This thing was smart. And there was no doubt. It had toyed with me, relishing the pain and torment it caused me, as only something of coldly frozen intellect could. For this reason, I knew it would suspect me, and perhaps even flee if I brought the car too close to the cliff's edge. I had to wait for it to attack. Let it feed. Let it revel and gorge itself on me. Perhaps even it would be not noticed as I slowly plunged the car into the dark, icy water below. I was going to drown the bastard.
I told you.
You've read it before.
No, I've
I had
listened.
appraised the potential consequences.
I've listened to it before. It was 10 years ago.
Memory's still there. I had appraised the potential consequences in my head and reasoned that there would be a singular moment, I could have this slam opportunity to escape from the car just before it reached the edge. Mary and I used to go there occasionally, a place to be together, away from everything, and it did not look nearly as stark during the summer day. I therefore had the place in mind and knew it well. The drop was of at least 30 feet to the depths below, and I did not want to be in that car as it hit the water, nor trapped inside with the abomination. I waited.
We probably have to commentary some stuff. We are soon done, almost, and it's 12 minutes this video yet.
Ah, we still got a lot to read.
Do we?
Yeah. But yeah, well, all right, we do need to say something.
It feels like this is going through pretty quick. I think
Yeah.
this is the
You like this one?
Yeah. Where are we? I waited. Oh. But like, wow, okay. So, but this is so early into the story, so I wonder if it's gonna succeed with this mission.
Oh, don't know. Like, he already mentioned that he's writing this as a statement for the cops, so.
But wait, that's saying something. You know, the fact that he's writing this story in character means he's still alive.
Uh-huh.
So that means like either his plan didn't work or
Or did.
Yeah, but I meant like because he said he was driving off the cliff. And I wonder if he got away, but like the monster didn't, or the other way around. Because like that gives us much more like he survived at least. That we know. So the monster didn't kill him. Unless it's the monster writing.
You're really waiting for that to happen, aren't you? You want that to happen.
That would be
I think you
fucking great.
That's becoming your Jeff the Killer. Maybe it's the monster is going to be writing off the final chapter.
Then I heard it slowly at first. And then oh, my TV closed. Slowly at first. And then increasing in rate and volume. A rasping, wheezing breath from behind. Strangely, it sounded more labored than before. Each breath struggled, filled with fluid, rotten and decayed. A shiver ran up my spine. A rank, foul smell began to fill the air. The breath drew closer from behind. My heart began to race, beating hard and fast as I looked up and saw the windscreen begin to ice up from inside. I could see my breath, a natural thing indeed, but what was unnatural was the breath visibly moving across my face from the side. I turned slowly. I wanted to cry. I wanted to leave, run into the night, but I had to stay. I could not allow it to escape. Okay. If I had to guess, I don't think he's going to succeed with this. That would be anticlimactic. At least not this early in the story. Maybe he tries now. It doesn't succeed.
I think he gets interrupted by the cops. I think they interpret it as a suicide attempt, and they're gonna do a like home check on him.
Yeah, and they find him there or something. Yeah, that would also work. But I think what I think is that I don't think he's gonna succeed now. The monster is gonna survive, but he's gonna get away somehow. Of course, we know that he writes his story, and then he's gonna try again.
Or yeah, I might leave on a cliffhanger. Like I can hear it off in the distance now, coming back or returning.
I wouldn't like that ending. It feels like it should end with the monster dead. I think that would be the absolutely biggest change of story ever. Like I could be relieved with, oh, he did succeed killing this creature, but maybe there's more. Or like he finds some kind of clue that, oh, there's multiple of these creatures, or something like that. That would work. But if the monster just escapes and like, ah ha ha, I couldn't find the monster and he's out there waiting for me or something like that, it feels like it happens too much. So either I want it dead or I want it to be revealed that there's multiple millions of these creatures.
I've seen that in a couple of movies.
Oh yeah. But not in stories like this. Creepypastas never ends like that. Trust me.
Fair.
You have read about maybe 30 creepypastas now at this rate. How are you feeling about becoming a creepypasta fan?
I still wouldn't say I'm necessarily a fan of creepypastas themselves, but I am a fan of storycraft in general. So it's just consuming another medium of storycraft for me, which I will always enjoy doing.
Okay. Well, take it on.
It was sitting in the passenger seat. It was staring at me. I was staring at it, and it at me. Hunched over, covered by darkness, contorted, gaunt. Hand seized as if fighting rigor mortis. Cookies and soda, like it's bubbly. And there's no wonder I have tooth problems. Where was I?
I thought that thing read, one boy got cracked. I was like...
It slowly moved towards me. One bony leg cracked and groaned as it slid onto my lap and onto the other side. Oh my god, it was sitting on me. He is quite the passive individual, I'll give him that.
I feel like this is kind of this narrator's turn. Like, he has been this kind of frightened young boy that runs. I think it has a good psychological ending as well, because like this is beginning as a frightened young boy in his mind. It's a story about someone that has to let go of his feelings, or like let go of being afraid of everything and just let loose. Like, how did you say it last time?
You're asking me to quote myself when I was flying off the cuff?
No, last part when we read about him actually doing something instead of you standing there.
Oh, he actually stood up and did something. Like,
yeah,
he just, he got active.
It sounded like you said a word, but I don't know. But anyways, like, it's a story. It's kind of a story about.
Like I said, it was off the cuff.
I would say it's kind of a story of a man that just has to overcome the fear and just do something about his problems. And I think that psychological way is also really fun to see it as.
Yeah.
Is it mine?
Yep.
It pulled itself in close to me, and through a shard of light provided by the moon I saw its face. Skin hung from its jagged features. Glassy eyes stared deep into me as its screen spread up through its face, unnaturally wide, as a result of its half-rotten teeth, nay, flesh. exposing the rotten muscles, broken teeth and sinews of its rancid smile beneath. Pulling closer, it opened its mouth, revealing a wet and putrid tongue, which could be seen through part of its missing jaw. Wheezing, breathing heavily, a foul stench which stung my eyes and filled my mouth elicited. Huh?
Yep.
Elicited a response from me as I retched, my body attempting to expel its poisonous fumes. And as I did, it stopped for a moment, and then cackled to itself, happy, content, staring into its icy cold eyes. It yet gave the impression of an afflicted. Oh, I didn't see the L. Afflicted and increasingly weak old man. It was still incredibly strong, but it seemed as though it had lost some of its potency. Perhaps leaving that elongated room had somehow affected it. Okay. Did he noticed a weakness in the monster?
Eventually. Its long, protruding fingers caressed my face, and then, as a show of intent, it stuck one of them deep into my shoulder. I screamed as it bent and twisted inside of me. Ugh. The rotting fiend moved its finger to cause
that sounded so
maximum amount of damage. Yeah, and pain that it could. As it did so, its other hand slid down against my body. It touched me. Ugh. It was time. With my free arm, I turned on the ignition, and though my shoulder was still pinned to the seat, I managed to fight through the pain, put the car into gear, and took off as fast as I could.
Okay, this is I'm very fucking intrigued of what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you feel?
I mean, I'm curious about what the cops are going to say. I mean, he shows up with well, at the same time, if he does if they pull him out of the car wreck, of course he has got an injured shoulder and all this shit. But yeah, no, I'm curious of how this is all going to kind of tie up.
I noticed that it's 22 minutes this far, and I think we're going to run through this too fast. And I'm going to forget this, so I'm just going to take a little time off here to explain, to tell that little story about William that I forgot to tell.
Here we go.
Just to fill out time.
That's fair.
And so I don't forget it later. Okay, this is a crazy ass story. Okay, he has a car, okay? It only goes in 30 kilometers, because it's like for kids. We call it EPA.
Yeah.
So, a police chase. That's how I'm gonna begin this.
Why am I not surprised?
Drunk and in his underwear, he sits in the driver's seat and drives 30 kilometers on the highway. And and two police cars speeding after him. Yeah. I don't even know what he did. He never explained that. But he drove away into the distance, and he crashed right into a tree. It was not that bad because like 30 kilometers an hour. 30 kilometers an hour, not that bad. So he jumps out through the window. Still, remember, he's drunk as fuck. Like that must have been such a funny view. The police cars, of course, stays with him. So he starts crawling into the woods and thinks that he's away from the from the cops. But no, he's not, and he gets wrestled. He gets put into a drunk prison. I don't know how you call it. For a day.
Drunk tank.
Yeah. For a day, and then he gets released the next day when he was sober. And oh my day. And this is completely true, by the way. Did you freeze?
No, I'm listening.
I'm done with the story, but like, wow.
Oh, he just hit a tree.
In his underwear, he drove a car drunk from the cops.
Okay, you know what? To be fair, that's probably the tamest story you've told of this boy.
Maybe it
I-
is, but like still.
Yeah, no, like that's one where just like, yeah, no, I've heard many a story of people getting drunk, running from the cops, and ended up in some kind of crash. Whether or not they're in their tidy whities, that's flavor
Okay,
for that
I
particular story.
can tell
Sometimes it pops up, sometimes it doesn't.
I can tell another one then. That's even worse. This is short though. I was at my friend's house. We know that friend very well. I don't want to say him by name because I don't know if he would be he would like being out on the internet with this story. So I was at his home. We were just having a nice time. And what happened? In through the window crawls the naked William.
Why is he always naked?
I don't know.
Like this one needs
and-
like fucking locks put on his jimmies.
And guess what he was?
I don't want to know.
Drunk, of course.
Oh well, yeah. I
He
suppose
was
worse.
carrying an airsoft gun. And you know, his room is under the ground, so like the window is, he has to crawl under a long porch to like get into that window. So he had crawled under through into that window with the airsoft gun in his hand, jumping down, going over to my friend like this, bro, and like he's wiggly dingling all over my friend, and like
Yeah. Wow.
I was sitting in the background like, what the fuck? Nowadays he hasn't done anything this bad in at least 1 year now, and that says much about him. So like, he's beginning to become normal. But you just saw him with a fucking gun standing in my fucking doorway earlier.
Yeah.
He's just that way. But like, yeah. So I'm not really confused of anything he does anymore. So like this thing, when he crawled in and like went over to my friend, both me and him sat like, oh hey. And like I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And he was like, you don't understand. I was chased like this, and I was like, okay, who are you chased by? It was a demon, I promise you. Yeah, he flew towards me. I was like, okay. So we called his parents. An ambulance came and got him. So the ambulance personnel coming in and taking out the naked William with the airsoft in his hand. Is this a sight I will never fucking forget? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Actually, that one reminds me of a story of my own. Whenever I was younger and dumber.
Ooh. Story time?
I suppose. I'll clean it up a little bit, but once upon a time, I had gotten a hold of some enhancements
Mm-hmm.
that weren't necessarily all that legal,
Oh.
and I ended up taking all of them in a 24-hour period, and let's just say that I was up for like 72 hours straight. I hallucinated to the point where I could see sparkles around all the lights, and I heard music coming from my air vents. At one point in time, I was actually convinced that there was a leprechaun or midget living in my crawl space playing Pokemon.
Okay, I think the younger you and William would have become very good friends.
So, yeah, no, I'm not too far off of that one, so that one's a little funny.
Alright, well, so we have now stretched out a little time, so you can continue now.
Anyways, so my lines.
Yep.
The creature flailed and screamed. It attempted to climb over me into the back seat, but I held on with all my strength. The thought of what it did to Mary, enough to fuel my rage. We raced towards the edge of the cliff, and I eyed the driver's door frantically. As we neared our icy plunge, I screamed in anger at its festering, rancid face and pushed it off me. scrambled into the back seat for dear life, as I scrambled for mine by unlocking the car door. It was too late. The car careered over the cliff face, and before I knew it, we hit the dark water, splitting the black glass-like surface with tremendous force. I should have died then, but an airbag took the brunt of my impact, although I still managed to scrape my head against the door frame.
Okay, so he survived at least.
Yep.
I want to know what happened to the creature, so I'm just gonna.
Well, read your lines. Find out.
Yeah. Let's go. Days. I looked around. The sound that I heard coming from that thing was malformed yet familiar. The squeal of some demonic child. Is that familiar? Okay. Soon gave way to anguish and rage of an ancient intelligence, which knew that it faced almost certain death. The water was frozen and poured in through the now twisted open car door with such force that it winded me. I gasped for
Winded.
air as winded me. I gasped for air as my unwilling prey now did. It writhed, writhed, and twisted as it looked for an exit. Spying the door open, it pulled itself through the water towards me. I curled up my fist and smashed it into the thing's face. Hey! He's doing something for once. Pieces of rotten flesh flaked off under the impact as a dark black liquid oozed from the resulting wound. Again, it attempted to get past me, and I knew that to keep it in the car long enough to drown, that I would have to die with it. I felt numb as the frozen water slipped over my shin. My breath struggled against the cold, and with a sudden surge, I was submerged and had breathed my last.
Breathe, but good enough. I'm not going to critique you that tightly.
Okay, so it
I held
seems
my-
like by this far, it seems like he's probably gonna die with the creature, but that we know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no. He gets pulled out at the last minute by the cops, or he passes out and
No way,
It's pulled out.
it feels weird because like the car would have been so fucking far under the water now, so I don't know how they would be that fast to get him out.
give me a second. It looks like I got a delivery about to drop off. You might actually get to see my new hat.
Should I continue as long?
If you want, just like maybe banter a little bit with the people. Tell them to like, subscribe, and some other stuff.
I had my breath, but only to compose and ready myself for an icy, suffocating death. I hoped that it would not be painful. My thoughts turned to Mary and my family. An all-consuming sense of sadness and despair overwhelmed me. But as I struggled with that thing, trying to get past me and through the door, grabbing and failing with its arms, I looked down and saw it. Okay, so I can do that instead. I don't want to read this out before he comes back because this seems to be a big cliffhanger.
I'm
back.
coming. Like I said, it was just dropped off on my front door. I think I figured out why my packages have trouble making it to my house, and I think I might have fixed it. I put new numbers on my carport. They weren't going far enough to see the stuff on my door.
Ah. Why are you buying
Just
so
turning
much
into a
hats?
little I'm committing to being a hat guy.
Okay.
And
Michael
it helps
Jackson.
having more than one because they tend to absorb sweat and shit. So,
Michael, is that you?
oh, man. This one's a little on the big side.
Michael? Michael, is that you?
So,
Michael?
but I'm also kind of excited about this.
Michael.
I know it's a little bit more filled out than that man's.
Can you do one? For me. I was going to read.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stuff this hat because it's a little on the large side. It says one size fits all. Damn it! It obviously does not fit all.
I was gonna read while you were outside, but I noticed that this is a big cliffhanger. So like, not cliffhanger, like the big a twist.
Big finale?
No, but like a twist. So like I didn't want to read it without you here.
That's
You
fair.
can just continue where its leg was trapped and blah blah blah.
1 second, because this is something I'm actually excited about. New sunglasses as well.
Ooh, you are really Michael Jackson. Don't tell me you got a glove too.
I went with purple this time to see how, because red's kind of cool. So I thought I'd see what purple does to like. Cool. Out of a greenish hue, I would actually say. But anyways.
Yeah.
Where was I? Its leg was trapped, huh?
Yeah.
Its leg was trapped between the dashboard and floor of the car by the impact of the fall. And although it could move, it could not leave. I turned immediately for the door. I could barely see, but a foot in front of me, in the black water. But there was enough moonlight to light my way. Just as I got to the door, the wretch grabbed hold of me and pulled me back to it. It had given up with all hope escaping, but it wanted to drown me with it. Before we fought for what felt like an age, in that cold, bitter grave, as the car slowly sank deeper and deeper into the darkness. I could now feel my body pleading with me to take breath, to exhale my last gasp of air, and then inhale the frozen water. You want me to finish this off, or or was that 3, or was that only 2?
That was 3.
I returned. It was 2.
I'm happy to say that I used my wits to get out of such a horrible fate. Orienting my body, I pushed my feet against the dashboard with enough force to at last escape its slippery grasp. I do not remember much else, bar the anguished and hate-filled scream that my tormentor let out as I left it to die at the bottom of that icy lake. I found myself walking through the wilderness, cold, wet, but alive. The wound in my shoulder slowed me down, but I kept bleeding at bay by applying pressure to it with my other hand. It took me 2 hours to walk home. Oof. And I'm amazed that I did not collapse from exhaustion or hypothermia. When I saw the familiar sight of the street that I lived at, I was filled with a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride and triumph. I had beaten that thing once and for all. Okay, so what the fuck is the rest supposed to be? If we actually killed it now, then what the fuck is the rest of the story supposed to be?
It was triumph, but we'll be finding out. Maybe it's not dead.
Maybe there's more creatures, as I said.
That is until I went inside my house and found a trail of large, wet footprints
Oh, okay.
leading from the door to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Disbelief took me. Despair so sharp and so overwhelming that I'm unable to convey it with mere words. It was lying in my bed, waiting, a white sheet covering an emaciated body from sight. The human mind is a wonderful thing.
I can see that weird ass picture in front of me. Just the covers all over him, and you see a fucking human under the covers. That's fucking stupid.
The human mind is a wonderful thing. Just as you believe your body has reached a level of exhaustion that it can not recover from, that your emotions are so frayed that you feel you cannot continue. A thought springs as if miraculous from a weary mind.
Let it rest for now. I quietly crept through the dark and picked up my wallet, which I had left on a small coffee table in the center of the living room. Leaving the door unlocked, I left to attend to a new plan and returned an hour later. With a moment's preparation, I slipped into the spare room. There I lay in the unsullied bed, waiting. I was sure that this was the end. This was the end game. That instead of toying with me, it would come for the kill. How it had escaped that watery grave I did not know, but I would be damned if it would escape again. I could only hope that it would sense me from the other room. I closed my eyes, pretending to be sound asleep. Time lumbered onwards, and although I fought it, exhaustion finally took me, sending me into a deep slumber. Okay, and we are closing in to the end here.
Yeah. I woke with its hands around my neck.
Oh.
It coughed and spluttered on top of me. A rancid black liquid dropping on my face as it oozed from its facial wounds. I struggled, gasping for air, and hoping that I had the strength in me to escape its grasp. But it was too strong. My hands could not grip it with any sense of conviction, as it seemed to be dripping wet from its plunge into the lake. It may not have seemed rational at the time, but as my vision dimmed, and the last light of consciousness extinguished within me, I did as many animals do in their last moments. I played dead. Laying motionless, holding my breath, it shook me violently by the neck and then released me. I waited a moment longer, my last chance to destroy this thing. Flavored breathing relaxed slightly and seemed to stare at me almost quizzically.
Okay, so this is the end game.
Yeah, it's the final countdown.
It's the
doing
final
that.
countdown.
He's doing that lay down and do the final uppercut before get that one hit in.
I see him laying like this, like so, like a kid playing dead. I waited still for a shift of weight, which might have let me throw it to the ground. Leaning down close to me, its wide crumbling sneer puckered, gathering its putrid saliva in its mouth and in what was left of its cheeks, it then shoved utter contempt for the living and the dead. It spat its festering fluid onto my face, the remnants dripping down onto me through a hole in its jaw. I'm starting to think that this creature is actually not something that is dead, because that's what I thought in like the first episode. I thought like this is some kind of imagination, like a Pennywise kind of thing. But like now I'm starting to think if this actually is, if you would call this kind of an animal.
Maybe.
I wanted to scream, to do anything to remove such a vile smear on my skin, but I dared not to move. But I dared move. The time was not right. Leaning in closer, it prodded and scratched the wound in my shoulder. The pain sheared through my body. With all of resistance, I remained motionless. This may be one of the last time I have to scroll down here. No,
We'll be finding out.
2 times.
Haha, you see?
Wait. Okay.
Then,
I am
it's
actually.
slowly.
Oh, sorry. I just had to say I actually have no fucking idea how this is gonna end.
Neither do I. The cops get involved somehow.
The cops shoot it.
Then, it slowly, impatiently slid 2 of its long, distended fingers into my mouth.
Oh.
The taste was overwhelming, rancid, rotten, dead. The arthritic clicking of its knuckles shook my resolve. As it arched its back in glee, it suddenly pushed its fingers deep into my throat. I gagged,
Fuck
an
is
instinctive
happening?
reaction. Yeah, that was a little gross. Instead of being shocked, a garbled laugh emanated through its broken teeth as it thrust its fingers deeper into my mouth. I felt its cold, hard flesh scraping against the inside of my throat, pleading without words for it to stop. Ugh. You're lying, brother.
Yeah, I know. I'm just taking this in. In our darkest moments, we sometimes find our true strength. I rolled to my side, using its weight against it, and finally managed to break free. I fell onto the floor, its long reach grasping at my feet. I kicked and screamed at it. At last was free. It stared at me, only for a moment, rising up on top of the bed. Its brittle bones cracked under its own force. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were laughing.
No, I was sneezing.
It now
Excuse me.
towered tall and gaunt, ready to pounce. Since I was a child, I had been a victim. It had terrorized me, taken my innocence, attacked Mary, and broken my life. I would not stand for it anymore. Whew! This is so fucking well written that,
Yeah.
wow!
This one definitely stands a cut above the rest of what we've read.
So now I'm just hoping in my head, all from top of my mind, please, please, please let the ending be good. Don't come with the...
and so far it is.
Don't come with the, oh, and he reached out through the window and escaped, and now he's haunting me forever. Like, that would drop everything for me.
Sometimes the most dangerous prey is one who can outthink you, the one that lulls you into false sense of dominance or superiority, one who has conquered any fear of you with a sense of anger and betrayal. It had fallen into my trap, one conceived by logic, reason, and understanding of the world through the eyes of a scientific mind. Fire cleanses, fire cleanses all. As it groaned, shrieked, cracked, and contorted, readying itself to pounce, in one swift motion, I removed a blanket from the floor, revealing a bucket filled with gasoline,
Oh,
which I had bought in the short time for preparation. I threw it as hard as I could, the liquid splashing over the horror and the bed.
I would have hoped a little bit, like you said, that he would go back to his old house because, like, that was such a big thing. He said, like, when when the creature left the old house, his powers became a little less powerful, and things like that. And I thought, like, the final chapter would be in that house.
Essentially, that's kind of what I was leaning towards.
It grinned at me, mocking my very existence, making light of my pain and the agony it had caused. From my pocket, I pulled out a lighter, lit it, and threw it onto that wretched thing. It writhed.
Wrong throw.
It writhed. Writhed. How do you say that?
It writhed.
It writhed and screamed in agony, parts of its flesh crumbling away, searing into nothing in front of my eyes. I almost felt sorry for it. Let it burn. Damn! This guy is becoming such a fucking what is his name
Badass.
again?
He's becoming a hunter.
He's becoming a kind of how do you call it? That human cyborg, like played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Terminator.
Terminator, yes. Fucking Terminator kind of fucking beast ass. What the fuck?
The fire got out of hand. Thankfully, a neighbor heard the screams and saw the smoke. Calling the fire brigade, I remembered nothing of how I escaped. I spent several hours in the hospital, being treated for light smoke inhalation and painful burns to my hands. It still hurts as I type, but as with many superficial wounds, they will heal. Perhaps there will be a few scars, but I can live with that. The police arrested me shortly afterwards, believing me a murderer. They suspected that I killed someone in that fire, finding it entirely suspicious that I have a deep wound on my shoulder, and scratches all over my body. I've been told not to stray far in case they wish to ask me further questions. But they can ask away. I doubt they'll believe my answers. They found no remains, nor any evidence that anyone else was in there. Bar a strange outline of a figure etched deep into the bed and wall. It looked as though whatever had been there attempted to escape, but I do not think it had accomplished this.
Okay. Accomplished this. I just need last scroll down. Boom. Let's go. This is the final piece of this story. A weight has now been lifted from my shoulder. One which I now realize was always there, since I was a child, in fact. I believe that this thing had an effect on me, even from distance, and now that it is gone, I feel whole again. I am devastated that I've lost Mary, and my house can be written off, as I'll probably be charged with arson after they realize I started the fire, which means I can kiss goodbye to any insurance claim. My hands ache, as does my body, but my spirit does not. I am writing this down from my hotel room. It's small and unassuming, but it will suit my purpose. Tonight I intend to sleep and dream, as I did as a child, before that wretch invaded my life. And I guess
Alrighty then.
I guess you'll read these 3 big paragraphs and I'll end us off.
Fair enough. I believe that it was my rationality which saved me, my logical thought which allowed me to destroy such an evil. But I will never escape the conclusion that there is much more to life beyond the veil. Out there in the darkness, it is a world I have seen and do not care to revisit, but tonight I will rest, and tomorrow I will build my life again. With the confidence that my unwelcome guest is gone forever. I can feel it. I know it. It will take time for me to adjust, and perhaps my mind will play a trick or two along the way. It is difficult to abandon the paranoia of a lifetime. I must learn to accept my safety once again. I refuse to be looking over my shoulder for the rest of my days, but I will always be cautious, as I was when I was in the hospital this morning, lying on a bed in a quiet ward.
I thought I felt the bed shake for the briefest of moments. But I know it's just my imagination. Is it? I am glad
That's
I have written down.
that's kind of fun. Because like, didn't he say that in part 3 also? Now when I think back, I know it's just a part of my imagination. So I went back there to like,
Yeah,
and that they saw a mark in the wall.
I am glad to have written down my experiences. It has illuminated much about myself to me. And most importantly, should anyone ever, God forbid, find themselves in a familiar situation, maybe they'll know what I do.
Now, it's bedtime, and I must rest for I have never known awareness such as this. Good night, and sleep tight. The end. Woo! Oh, if you would like to read more of my no sleep stories, you can here. We have to check out these stories actually. Tunnels, Forgotten Valentine, Author of the Beaten Path, Beneath the Garden, the Melancholy. Oh shit, Melancholy. How do you say that?
The Melancholy of Herbert Solomon.
So we have to check out more of this guy's stories because wow, he's fucking. Mwah. I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
We didn't really get an ending as I expected. I expected a more clear vision that it's dead. Sure, it was 100% more pointed towards the fact that he's dead. But like this is still this unsure thing about did it survive? Did it not? Is there more of these things? You know, this kind of things. He didn't really answer all those questions, and I think that's a fucking great choice. Cause like,
yeah,
a creepypasta is a creepypasta because like, you don't know, you feel unnerved because this is something. It's a story about something so weird that shouldn't happen, but still happened in the story, and like, it's just a sense of what happened now, but we'll never get that answer.
Sense of closure.
Huh?
Sense of closure.
Yeah, we never get that in these kind of stories. I think Pen Pal gave us all the answers throughout the story, and like the whole story is out there. So like, it's not like there's something unanswered, but there's still theories about it and shit that could have had more answers. But like what Pen Pal did different is like the way it's concluded all, and like just everything got pieced into one, and everything is right, and like you know everything in the end. I think that's more pieced together because like that's more of a, it's a kind of a different story vibe. This one,
yeah,
it feels like it should end like this. It's a great ending to this story, and I'm very happy that it didn't do like, oh, he crawled into the wall and disappeared. Now he's waiting for me. Like that kind of ending. I would have actually
very well could have.
I would have thrown my computer out of the window.
Instead, it was just like, oh, my bed shook a little, but I know it was my imagination. Was it?
Mm-hmm. I used the ending of I'm going to sleep now. Good night, guys. Like that also felt kind of we didn't get any more updates after that.
Exactly.
And that's kind of fun. But also, it could also be if the character didn't have more to update about. So like that's yet again a fun twist that wait.
Well, anyways. Oh, you gotta reset your camera so you can do your.
Oh, now you got into full screen now, so we see you fully. All right.
All right, so
Wait,
outro.
it's still lagging a bit. Yeah. So, what did you think of the story from part 1?
This one was one of the best so far.
One of the best creepypastas I have read throughout my life, I think. Like this one is kind of just as scary as I remember it to be. You know, when I was little, at the same time I heard this at the first time, I heard Jeff the Killer. And, you know, I was so afraid of that, and you know, it was the scariest story I've ever read. You know, that really didn't age well. Like that story was fucking horrible in that kind of sense. It's like we don't hate Jeff the Killer. It's just more like it's not a good story. but like it's a good story in another way. It's hard to explain. But this one really,
Yeah.
this one aged really well. But anyways, this has been your hosts, Rasmus aka Rezbir and Bill slash ThatNinjaThere. If you like this video, as usual, please press the like button below. If you have any suggestions of future stories, if you want to discuss something with us, or is something you don't agree with or agree with, what should they do?
Like and fucking comment.
Yeah, exactly. And if you feel like, oh, this content, I like this content, I want to see more, you could subscribe, go back to all the other videos we have done, and check them out. Oh, Kitty. That's the most cutest piece of animal I've seen in a while. Anyways, and if you never want to miss another of our future uploads, please press the notification bell. It would really help us. And share this to everyone you know. Send it to your mom, send it to your dad, send it to your grandpa, send it to your great-great-grandma, and send it to your cat. And let's hope that everyone watches the videos and gives us some views. She is fucking adorable.
She can be when she wants to be.
I want to see if I remember the cat name. Gremlin.
Yep.
Boom! I am not as useless in thoughts as I thought I was. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. We'll see you next either Saturday or Wednesday, depending on when we release this. Goodbye, bros. See you next time, hoes.